I'm Ree, and you're tuned into Written Articles on Camera.
My name is Juana.
What age were you when you were pregnant?
I was 21, going on 22.
And did you have a boy or a girl?
A boy.
And how old is he now?
Mr. Adrian is 11.
Oh my God. So how was your pregnancy? How was that 10 old months? Because it ain't 9, it's 10.
It was very different, new. Originally, Mr. Adrian was supposed to be born August 19th, but he was born August 27th during Hurricane Irene, so he was a hurricane baby. Being pregnant, like going through that type of stage, at that time I was married, dealing with marriage and baby and all of that was just, it challenged me a lot in a lot of aspects. So I dealt with the weird cravings, the body changes, trying to balance out as far as being a wife and also being attentive to family and trying to just learn myself all over again in that type of time frame. So it challenged me in my mother's relationship. I would say we got into a lot of arguments, a lot of disagreements because everyone has their own way of how they grew up, what they were taught. Hey, you're not supposed to do this when you have a baby and this and that. And one of the biggest things that me and her dealt with was, where is Juana gonna give birth at? So, cause I lived out in Long Island and I'm originally from Queens and most of my family is from Queens. So she wanted to take over that, you know, where's Juana gonna give birth? So that was another thing I had to deal with. But summary wise, as far as me being pregnant with Adrian, a lot of people said I was a very happy, joy. Like you didn't know I was pregnant until I was 7 months. It's when my belly started really poking out. But I was happy. That's what everybody was saying. So
How did you really feel?
I was happy, bubbly, but I kept a lot of things to myself as far as like how I was feeling. I was nervous. I am the oldest out of 5 kids, so like all my childhood from 9 years old up until then, I was always taking care of everybody. I was the big sister, or hey, wanna babysit this person, or hey, wanna look out after the siblings, and you know, being the protector, not knowing what I'm doing, but I'm protecting my siblings. So I just was doing the best that I could, even though me and my mother didn't have a very good relationship as far as communication because she wanted to do her way and not listen to what I wanted to do, or hey, I'm a little nervous, can you guide me, not tell me what to do.
Do you feel that because you were always that big sister protector that you just knew that it was going to be a certain kind of way once you had?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, I would say because it was like instilled in me. So it was like, okay, Juana, you have to do this. Juana, you know you gotta do this. You no matter what even if you're going through a whole bunch of things, you just have to do it. It was just in my mind, instilled in me. So yeah.
How was it being married, like, and then being pregnant? How was that?
Being married and being pregnant, my child's father, he had a child before me, which he's a little bit older. So in ways of communicating with him, it's like the first kick, or oh my God, I'm craving Fruity Pebbles and Taco Bell at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, those little things, I was like so happy. But when coming to him with it, it's like, oh, okay, babe, but I've been through that already. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, but you know, you can share this moment with me. It's my first time. So that right there is like, the type of person that I am, I shut down. I'm more of a people pleaser, and that's one of my bad habits that I have that I'm learning now and getting over that. But being married, as far as like being pregnant, it was like communication was like off and on. So most of the times I was like really connecting myself with, you know, like I knew in my head that I was having a boy even before going to the doctor. I'm like, all right, his name is gonna be Adrian. Not knowing if it's gonna be a girl or a boy, but I was like, I know it's gonna be a boy. But it was definitely like a job itself because again, the balance, being pregnant, going through different changes with my body, wanting to have that relationship with my mom, trying to make everybody happy, including my ex-husband. It was emotionally challenging. Like, I think that's the best thing I can put it into perspective as a summary. So
if you were to do it all over again, what would you change? Well, I don't want to say change, but what would you know that would just make it better?
I wouldn't change anything. As weird as that sound, I wouldn't. Because to be honest with you, with all of that, it made me a better person today because of the fact of the people pleasing part. So, not to bring up zodiacs, but I'm a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist, and it's like, I just like to make sure everyone around me is happy, and it's like, I'm at service with everyone. It's a service type of thing. I want to make sure you're good, but then also, I'm not listening to me, I'm not taking the time to listen to myself. All of that, it's like, it was a lesson that I literally do not regret because it really changed my whole mindset, and especially now I use that with my son because even looking at him, he's like a little me, seriously, but just in a boy type of way. Like, for example, Adrian he's in tune with his emotions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But growing up, and I'm pretty sure you guys hear it, but it's like, oh, you're a boy. If he falls and he scrapes and he hurts his knee, get up, dust that off. You good? What you crying for? What you crying for? And it's like my mom and my grandmother and my aunts, they're like that with him. Instead of just like, okay, I get it, y'all did it with us, granted, but let's do something a little different because with me growing up, it's like when you try to say your emotions, or even with my mom, if at that time when I was younger, if I tried to speak with her or mommy, I'm feeling this way, or mommy, I'm that, I was more like dismissed. It's like I'm doing it different with Adrian to let him know that it's okay. Communication is key. That's the biggest thing. So now it's like the first thing he starts crying, and I'm like, okay, Adrian, speak. You can cry, but I need you to speak because I don't know what you're going through. And that's how I'm building a relationship between me and him, especially him as a boy. So, yeah.
How was he born? Naturally or C-section?
C-section.
Was it emergency?
Emergency, yeah. Originally, I wanted to do natural, and what happened was the reason why he had to be emergency is because the umbilical cord was wrapped around his stomach.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know. All I remember is I would go with an oxygen mask on my face. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's this? And then Adrian's father was trying to console me, and they were keeping it together. Like, they didn't want to tell me to spook me. But they told me, they was like, yeah, we're going to have to do a C-section, but it's okay, you're going to be good. And that was the reason why I had to go C-section. And as far as around that time, because it was Hurricane Irene, the whole epidural, because I did my own research, like, oh, when you get the epidural, don't move your back, you go paralyzed. And I'm like, you ain't gotta tell me twice. So when the anesthesiologist and them came in, they're like, oh, we're gonna have, I was like, I'm ready, let's go. Come on, you ain't gotta worry, I ain't gonna move. They was like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, but even with that, I was nervous as hell. I was nervous. And I gave birth to him in Stony Brook Hospital. That's like way out in Long Island. And with everything going on, they're trying to make sure everybody's safe because they don't know if, with the wind and everything, if the windows is going to break. They had their own protocol just in case of an evacuation. And I want to say, as far as that go, even though my mom and everybody did not agree with me going to Stony Brook, they wanted me to stay within Queens because everybody else was born in Queens. But I honestly, I had I had a midwife. I was like, oh, a midwife, okay, cool, They honestly made me feel comfortable because all they did was just pure jokes. The biggest thing I remember was they said, oh, they were fighting over who's going to be my best friend. The anesthesiologist and my actual OB/GYN doctor, which I had a male. They were like, no, I'm going to be her best friend. No, I'm going to be her best friend. And And they're like, and the anesthesiologist like, no, I'm gonna be her best friend. Why? Because I got the meds. So I got the meds she needs. But yeah, that right there, just even though it was scary, but that put me in a better spirit that okay, everything is gonna be fine. You know, everything's gonna be fine. But you know, I just at that point in time, I just wish that I had my mom there because that was my biggest thing I really wanted.
How was that first 3 months when he got home?
Oh my gosh. So they told me that they were like, because you have a C-section, you can't bend, you can't pick up the baby. Like he had the crib and stuff. It was like you can't bend, you can't do this, you can't do that. I had a lot of restrictions. It was like he, Adrian's father was there with me, but then after a while, you know, he had to go back to work and things of that matter. That was back in 2011, so that was like a long time ago. But most of the times, like I was by myself with Adrian, but I literally had to improvise. I mean, I had to try to keep myself like mentally, okay, Juana, you got this. You thinking of that's you. That's not even, it's Adrian, but that's a little you. So you gonna treat him and do the best you can as how you would want to be. You know, so it was challenging. Adrian, what's the biggest thing that I always bring it up even as a joke? Little man did not want to latch onto me at all. He didn't want to latch onto me. I tried so hard. I wanted him to latch onto me so bad, but the thing is, like, I'm gonna go ahead and share this. So like I'm a 34D. So going through that, which I used to hear stories like, oh my God, when it gets big and it swells up, it's like so painful. And I'm like, hey, oh my God. I was like, yo, this is painful. And the only way I got like relief was, you know, the hot water. You know, the hot water, and then I had a pump and all of that. But I wanted him to latch onto me so bad, but little man was like probably looking like, whoa, what is this big thing? You trying to kill me? Like, nah, we not doing this. But I did it. I mean, I don't know how I did it, but you know, a couple of nights, even though they say not to sleep with the baby in the bed. They say that all the time.
The baby gonna sleep in the bed.
But the baby was sleeping in the bed. He slept in between me and his father. His father, poor thing, was crunched up to the point where he looked like he needed a parachute. But you know, we did it, and he was laying between us for a couple of nights. And my biggest thing was getting him on a schedule of sleep. Trying so hard to do that, trying to get him to sleep to where I can get a little bit of a nap in between. You know, but then when I want to get that nap in between, it's like, Juana, did you wash the bottles? Juana, did you set the bottles up? Juana, did you wash the baby clothes? Oh, wait a minute, when he's gonna need this. Okay, wait, going, is he breathing? You know, okay, make sure nothing's around him. You know, like, okay, all right, Juana, this is supposed to be the time you're supposed to get a nap. Oh, he's up, okay, too late, no more sleep, you know? So, yeah.
How it has from 11, he's 11, right?
Yeah.
So from baby to 11, how has that?
Ooh, whoa. So Adrian was, I will say, as far as the walking stage, let's talk about that. Adrian didn't crawl first. He walked first. I want to say he was about 7 months. Yeah, 7 months. With he used to have a big giant afro, but he walked first. And the most weirdest thing is, shout out to Disney Junior, you know, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, all of that. I will say that. But Adrian was very independent. What I mean by that is, you know how when they say, oh, when you don't hit a baby, when they're quiet, they into something. Well, Mr. Adrian, as long as he had his toys, his Mickey Mouse toys, he was fine. He would sit there, he would play with his toys, have his little Legos, and maybe come sit, watch TV with you. Would say, I don't know if God blesses me to have a second one, I don't know how that's gonna be, but Adrian was he was a good baby. I will say that. He spooked us when he was 2 years old because in my mother's bedroom she has Bible scriptures. So I had let him go over for the weekend with her, and she called me and she's like, Juana, did you tell what that say in the back? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, I didn't even know you had that. And she's like, the boy is saying exactly what it is. And I was like, there's no way. So, long story short, my stepfather, he's Jamaican, and you hear him go, Wanda, the boy is a genius, Wanda. I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. I see when I get there. I get there, and Adrian, he reads. He pronounces. He loves to read, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. The only thing is, at that time, he's very curious. Colors, he knew his colors. He knew how to identify as far as, the first thing I did was the eyes, nose, mouth. Yay, he knew that. So as far as that go, I will say you got the terrible twos. It was not terrible, thank you God. As he got older, as far as school, I'm sitting there sobbing. He's saying, Mama, I'll see you later. You know, like, okay, all right, bye. You sure you don't want me to stay? Okay, you got it. All right, you got it. Now, he's coming into puberty. He's junior high school, and I'm freaking out. He's okay, but I'm nervous. I'm very nervous, very, very nervous. Because the way the way the generation is, I am nervous. But I try not to show that to him. He tells me, the biggest thing he tells me is, Mama, don't worry. I know I have to grow up one day, and you have to understand I have to grow up one day. And I'm like, you know, his father's 6'1". I'm a shorty, but he's already up to me. So I'm nervous. This is another milestone. Here we go, another challenge for me. So yeah.
No, junior high school? What? My nephew just went to junior. I was like, oh my gosh, he was just like this big. So what is your advice to your younger self being pregnant?
Go to college. Go to college, please. I mean, I had the opportunity, and I didn't do it because of the fact of I put myself last yet again. I will say go to college, learn about yourself. Learn about yourself first before you share yourself with anyone else, because that's the most crucial thing at that time. Just do that before you get into the whole engagement, moving out at 18, moving out of Queens and just rushing into a relationship. Don't think that is the only escape. That's the only thing I can say. I would say to my younger self.
What advice do you give to, I want to say to yourself now?
Put yourself first. It's okay to say no. It's okay. People are gonna talk, whether they agree with you or not, and live life in the moment. Live life in the moment. Don't overthink about the future, because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's meant for you, it will be for you.